The most decisive struggle you will ever face will not happen in the world outside you. It will happen silently, relentlessly, inside your own mind. This is a battle few recognize and even fewer choose to fight. Yet every individual who has risen above mediocrity, every soul who has shaped a meaningful life, first learned how to govern their inner world before attempting to command the outer one. Your mind is not passive. It is not neutral. It is an engine that is always running, always producing outcomes. When guided, it becomes your greatest ally. When ignored, it becomes your most dangerous enemy. Every success you admire, every breakthrough you envy, every life you aspire to live was first constructed in thought long before it became visible in reality. Think of your mind as fertile ground. It does not rest. It does not discriminate. Whatever you introduce into it, it nurtures and multiplies. Confidence or fear, vision or doubt, discipline or distraction. The soil makes no judgment. It simply responds. And this is the law most people never consciously grasp. Life does not give you what you want. It gives you what you consistently think, believe, and reinforce. This is why mental training is not optional. It is essential. If your thinking is scattered, your life will be scattered. If your thoughts are weak, your actions will be hesitant. But when your mind becomes deliberate, focused, and strong, your life begins to organize itself around purpose. Order replaces chaos. Direction replaces confusion. Strength replaces hesitation. Let us be clear. Training the mind does not mean denying reality or pretending difficulty does not exist. Pain will come. Uncertainty will arise. Fear will knock at your door. Mental strength is not the absence of these experiences. It is knowing how to respond when they appear. It is refusing to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. A trained mind pauses before reacting. It asks questions instead of collapsing into conclusions. It chooses response over impulse. This ability alone separates those who progress from those who remain stuck, repeating the same cycles year after year. The foundation of this process is awareness. You cannot lead what you do not observe. Most people move through life unconsciously repeating thoughts that were planted years ago by parents, society, failure, or fear. They assume these thoughts are truth, when in reality, they are habits, and habits can be changed. You must begin to watch your inner dialogue. Listen to the words you speak to yourself when things go wrong. Notice the stories you repeat about who you are and what you are capable of. Ask yourself honestly, is this thought building my future or quietly destroying it? Awareness gives you power, and once power is gained, choice becomes possible. You may not control the first thought that enters your mind, but you always control whether you invite it to stay. You control whether you feed it or starve it. Every time you choose courage over fear, discipline over comfort, clarity over confusion, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Just like the body, the mind grows through resistance. Understand this. Greatness is not born in dramatic moments. It is built privately, in silence, when no one is watching. It is built when you choose to think differently despite circumstances. When you decide to act like the person you intend to become, long before the world recognizes you as such. Mental training is daily work. Just as you would not expect physical strength from a single workout, you cannot expect mental mastery from occasional effort. Each day, you must intentionally set the direction of your thinking. Begin your mornings by reminding yourself who you are becoming. End your nights by reviewing how you showed up. Visualize your goals not as distant dreams, but as inevitable outcomes of consistent effort. Speak strength into your mind. Reinforce belief, not as wishful thinking, but as disciplined conditioning. Over time, something powerful happens. Your reactions change. Your tolerance for discomfort increases. What once overwhelmed you now sharpens you. You begin to notice that obstacles no longer stop you. They refine you. This is the law of alignment. When your thoughts align with growth, your actions follow. When your actions align with purpose, results become unavoidable. Remember this principle well. Life always reflects the dominant patterns of your mind. If you entertain doubt, life will mirror uncertainty. If you cultivate belief, life will respond with opportunity. This is not philosophy. It is cause and effect. Every creation begins as an idea held firmly despite resistance. You are no different. Your life is your greatest creation, and your mind is the workshop where it takes shape. Belief is the fuel that gives thought its force. Without belief, ideas remain fragile. With belief, they become unstoppable. Belief is not arrogance. It is agreement with your potential. Many live far below their capacity, not because they lack ability, but because they doubt their worthiness. They were taught to shrink, to settle, to stay safe. But safety has never produced greatness. You were not born limited. You were taught limits. And what is taught can be untaught. You must choose new beliefs, not once, but repeatedly. You must declare internally and relentlessly, I am capable of growth. I am worthy of progress. I am becoming stronger each day. What you believe, you behave into existence. Your actions will always follow your self-image. Change the image, and behavior must follow. But belief alone is incomplete without direction. Direction transforms belief into unstoppable force. A mind without purpose drifts like a vivid, measurable goals produce powerful action. Don't say, I want success. Say, I will master my craft and impact thousands within 5 years. Don't say, I want happiness. Say, I will cultivate daily gratitude and build relationships that reflect my values. Precision creates momentum. Clarity turns thought into a machine of creation. But clarity alone is not enough. Repetition is the mechanism that engraves these patterns into your subconscious. You must practice mental training daily, morning and evening, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Reflect on your goals. Affirm your beliefs. Visualize progress. Review victories, even small ones. Each repetition strengthens neural pathways that reinforce the mindset of a high achiever. Over time, negative thoughts lose their influence. Doubts fade. A new internal architecture of certainty and purpose replaces them. Yet, a warning must be heard. The mind is not loyal by default. Without attention, it reverts to old habits. Fear, procrastination, distraction. These weeds grow when the gardener neglects the field. Lifelong vigilance is required. Mastery is not a destination. It is a daily practice. The watchman never sleeps. You must remain aware of which thoughts you entertain, which emotions you feed, and which influences you allow. Every hour is an opportunity to choose alignment with your highest self rather than surrendering to comfort or mediocrity. Discipline amplifies persistence and action. Feelings are fleeting. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline, however, is chosen. It is cultivated through routine, reinforced by repetition, and eventually becomes a part of your character. Act not only when inspiration is present, but especially when it is absent. Persist when results are invisible. Maintain focus when obstacles appear insurmountable. True growth occurs in discomfort. The mind trained to act consistently under pressure becomes resilient, capable of withstanding any external chaos. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. Knowledge alone produces no results. Vision without execution remains fantasy. Small, consistent steps compound over time into extraordinary achievement. Begin imperfectly. Begin today. Each task completed, each challenge faced, signals to your mind, this matters. I am capable. I will not quit. Through repeated victories, the mind internalizes strength. Confidence grows. Doubt diminishes. The shift from hesitation to assurance marks the evolution from ordinary to remarkable. Persistence is the difference between fleeting effort and enduring success. Anyone can act for a day or a week, but only those who endure for months and years reach extraordinary heights. Setbacks will arrive. They always do. But persistence transforms setbacks into lessons, failure into guidance, frustration into fuel. The persistent mind does not complain. It adapts, learns, and continues. This is where the ordinary diverges from the extraordinary. Talent alone cannot substitute for the stubbornness to persist. Persistence is your insurance against mediocrity. The trained mind does not merely pursue goals. It transforms the self. You become the type of person capable of sustaining achievement. Without this internal transformation, even success is temporary. The world may grant you victories, but without inner mastery, they slip like water through your fingers. You must cultivate strength, patience, resilience, and focus. Your mind must be forged into a tool so precise, so disciplined, so unwavering that no obstacle can deter you. This is the essence of true accomplishment. But mental training extends beyond self. It creates influence. Others observe stability, consistency, and calm under pressure. Without speaking, you teach. Without commanding, you lead. The way you handle adversity, the way you pursue your path with quiet determination, inspires those around you. This silent impact is the hallmark of mastery. Success, in its highest form, is no longer about wealth, recognition, or accolades. These are merely reflections of an inner state. The true prize is the person you become in the process. Struggle does not disappear. It transforms. Where others see failure, you find insight. Where others see obstacles, you find opportunities. Where others panic, you remain composed. Mastery is not about controlling life. It is about controlling your response to life. Calmness under pressure, clarity in chaos, decisiveness in uncertainty. These are the fruits of relentless mental training. This is what separates the prepared from the reactive, the creators leaders from the passengers, the extraordinary from the ordinary. As your mind strengthens, life begins to respond differently. Doors open, people align, circumstances shift. Not by luck, but because your internal state radiates readiness. Opportunity seeks those prepared to act, just as light finds the places left open. You become magnetic, not through force, but through consistent alignment with purpose, discipline, and clarity. This is a principle of life. The external always mirrors the internal. Strengthen the mind, and the world bends to your preparation. But even as doors open, challenges remain. Every failure, disappointment, and obstacle becomes a tool. A trained mind studies adversity, extracting wisdom and strategy. It absorbs setbacks, recalibrates, and advances with greater precision. Those who quit at first sign of difficulty never understand this. The trained mind thrives on challenge. It grows stronger in resistance. It rises higher because it has learned how to convert difficulty into leverage, struggle into skill, and pain into insight. Mastery of the mind is the foundation for mastery of life. It is not about eliminating problems. It is about elevating your response. Each decision, each action, each repeated habit reinforces an internal standard. Eventually, life itself begins to operate in alignment with your mental discipline. You no longer react, you create. You no longer hope, you know. You no longer wait, you move. Ya Raha Part 2. Jab Aepi Continue. Kahoge. Main Part 3. Start Karunga Jahan. Hum Mental Mastery. Ke Last Stages. Self-mastery. Higher living. Our leadership. Impact Tak Lijayang. Final motivating conclusion. Ke Sayeth Dut. As your mind evolves through discipline, clarity, belief, and persistent action, you begin to notice a profound shift in how life presents itself. Challenges no longer appear as threats. Criticism no longer wounds. Setbacks no longer paralyze. The trained mind sees each obstacle as a stepping stone, each failure as a lesson, each difficulty as a chance to refine skill and character. You move with intention, not reaction. You operate from creation, not survival. At this stage, your inner world governs your outer reality. Calmness under pressure becomes second nature. Decisions flow with clarity and confidence. While the untrained mind frantically searches for answers in chaos, your trained mind anticipates, adapts, and acts with precision. You begin to live in a state of proactive mastery, shaping circumstances rather than being shaped by them. This is not arrogance. It is alignment with the highest version of yourself. The journey of mental training teaches a crucial truth. Success is less about what you acquire and more about who you become. Wealth, recognition, and accolades may come and go, but the strength, wisdom, and focus you develop remain permanent. This is the essence of sustainable achievement. External rewards are fleeting, but internal mastery is enduring. The person you become dictates the quality, magnitude, and sustainability of all results in your life. Moreover, the trained mind develops influence without force. Others notice steadiness, resolve, and composure. People naturally gravitate towards certainty, integrity, and strength. Leadership is no longer a title. It becomes a byproduct of your internal discipline. You inspire silently, not through words alone, but through your presence, your actions, and the clarity with which you move through life. This is the invisible power of a disciplined mind. Another profound transformation is the relationship with struggle. Life will never be free of challenges, but your approach changes entirely. Where others retreat in fear or frustration, you advance with poise and strategic thinking. Every difficulty becomes a teacher, every setback a mentor. Your mind learns to extract opportunity from adversity. You no longer see life's storms as interruptions. You see them as invitations to elevate skill, patience, and resilience. This phase also teaches that external conditions are irrelevant to your internal state. Circumstances may be chaotic, people may doubt, and results may be delayed, but your discipline, focus, and commitment remain unwavering. You discover an unshakable inner compass. Your sense of purpose, your clarity of vision, and your habitual action are the constants guiding you. When the world falters, you continue. When others doubt, you act. This is mastery in practice. At the highest level, mental training becomes the foundation of a life that transcends ordinary achievement. You begin to operate not merely for success, but for significance. You seek growth, impact, and contribution. Your ambition evolves beyond personal gain. You pursue excellence because it reflects your highest self. Your actions are guided by principle, vision, and long-term purpose. You move beyond ego-driven goals and into the realm of legacy-driven living. Mastery of the mind also creates freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from external validation. Freedom from reactive habits that once dictated your life. You become the master of your emotions, your focus, and your actions. You are no longer a passenger of circumstance, but a navigator of destiny. Your inner world becomes your command center, and your outer world becomes a reflection of that internal authority. Finally, remember this: the path of mental mastery is continuous. It is not completed at a milestone or a single achievement. Every day demands attention, discipline, and refinement. The mind must be trained relentlessly, or old patterns will reemerge. Life will continue to test you, but each test now becomes fuel for further growth. The greater the challenge, the stronger you become. The more difficult the path, the more profound your transformation. A mind trained in belief, clarity, action, persistence, and discipline is unstoppable. It attracts opportunity, commands respect, and produces results. It moves from reaction to creation, from fear to courage, from limitation to expansion. And as you advance, you begin to understand that the ultimate victory is not a goal achieved. It is mastery over yourself. To control your thoughts, to direct your energy, to act decisively, and to persist relentlessly is the greatest achievement any human can attain. So rise each day with purpose. Feed your mind with intention. Guard it against doubt, distraction, and weakness. Program it to act decisively, to persist relentlessly, and to create impact. Align thought with belief, action with clarity, and discipline with persistence. Make mental training as important as breathing, because it is the engine that drives all success, all growth, and all fulfillment. As your mind becomes sharp, focused, and unyielding, life begins to yield in return. Doors open where once there were walls. Opportunities appear where once there were obstacles. People respond to your certainty. Circumstances align with your preparation. Success finds you, not by chance, but because your inner world has been sculpted to receive it. And through this, you realize the ultimate truth. Mastery over your mind is mastery over life itself. You are no longer a dreamer waiting for fortune. You are a creator shaping reality. You no longer react to circumstance. You create circumstance. You no longer seek approval. You define worth. You no longer wait. You act. You no longer hope. You know. This is the power of a trained mind, and with it, anything becomes possible. Your mind is your compass, your garden, your forge, and your gateway. Treat it with care. Train it with discipline. Feed it with belief. Direct it with clarity. Persist with action. And every day, step by step, thought by thought, you will become unstoppable. The greatest battle is won, not by fighting the world, but by mastering yourself.